What's up, everybody? This review, we're taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Retro card, Cobra Viper. Now, we've gotten this figure a couple of times previously, and they are different from this one. With this one being the retro style and having just a slightly different look. We'll take a comparison look at some of those other ones towards the end. But yeah, here he is on the card. I mean, it looks really cool, kind of like that look that you're used to from the 3 3/4 versions. But yeah, card looks good. Artwork looks good. You can see him in that bubble with his accessories. You can already tell off the back that he doesn't have the long sleeves, which is cool. You got the back with his little bio. Other figures in the wave. Not bad. Looking forward to all of them. You know, classic rock and roll. I got the other Dr. Mindbender. I'll probably pick this one up too. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But yeah, here's the front again. And let's get them open and check them out. So here's the Viper outside of the packaging, and he looks pretty cool. Not quite like the other ones that we've gotten previously, but I think he'll fit right in. Definitely different, though. We'll get to that in a moment. But for now, here he is, and here are some of his accessories. So he comes with this long rifle, which is one of my favorite rifles, and it does have that suppressor on the end. This is all molded in gray. I wish there was like some more paint to bring out some of those details, or just make it different, make it not look so much like a toy, I guess. Just a little better. Here's another rifle, which I do like. It does got little brown bits, and of course the mag, I believe, does come out. Yep. Another one of the really cool ones that I like. We've got a pistol. Got some brown on the handle, on the grip. It's got a little skull in there for a little detail. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Just got, of course, it's got the end. You could put maybe a suppressor or like a muzzle effect. You've got his goggles. Looks to have like a smoked out lens. Got his backpack. The sack on top. This would have been good to have like some extra details on it also. I mean, just being all molded in black, kind of like this. A little bit of paint would have did that, you know, a lot for it. We've got a couple extra hands, which is really cool. So he's got trigger fingers on him. You've got fists for both sides. You get this open palm hand, which is really cool. I think my first thought goes to like Cobra Commander holding a globe sort of thing, but yeah, gripping hand, hold yourself up on a ledge, something like that. Reaching for something. You can do a lot with that. And another cool one, pointing finger, giving direction, all kinds of stuff. So really cool. Nice set of hands that they gave you. Expressive. And let's get into the figure himself. So the figure looks really nice. You got this nice metallic silver for the visor. No real paint on the helmet, but you got some sculpted details in there. You got the vest. I believe the vest is completely different from the previous ones. You got the arm. Here you got the sleeve rolled up. You don't get the long sleeve that comes down like mid-forearm anymore. You got these little gauntlets here that look a little bit more how we're used to. The old school figure anyways. I believe this is a different kind of belt. Got the holster back here. Little flashlight with the little lens paint on there, which is really nice. You got the folds in the pants. You got this little sculpted detail in there. The texturing looks really nice. The boots, I believe, are different also. The knee pads might be the same. We'll see. But yeah, you got the red and black. You got the Cobra. You got red on the buckles. Really nice. The belt, the symbol. Getting that small detail in there. Really nice. Texturing in the back. So yeah, pretty cool. Even the little stitching right there. You can see that. Really cool. For articulation, head can move down pretty good. Going up, it hits the collar. You can turn side to side, tilt it just a little bit, not much. You got butterfly joints. T-pose goes way past T. Upper bicep, double jointed pinless elbows. Of course, the peg and hinge and everything is in the wrist. You got ab crunch and the ball waist, which it moves pretty okay. Let's see if we can go down a little bit further. So the bottom of the vest is actually hitting, but in the back, it goes back a little bit further. Going forward, you could probably work at it just a little bit more than that, but not too much more. Drop down hips if you want. Leg goes forward about that far. Goes back. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed pinless knees, upper boot cut. You can get yourself some pretty good range of motion in there. Posing. Maybe it's running. Ran through the air. Pretty nice. Let's check out some of his accessories on him. So here he is holding one of the rifles. Switched out the other hand for the open palm to make it look like he's gripping the front. You got the backpack on him, pistol in the holster. And he looks pretty awesome like this. And of course, you could throw the other rifle on and just kind of army build your own style, But really nice. He can take a knee pretty well. Like that. So yeah, pretty cool. And then posed up. No, a nice figure. The other ones weren't bad either. So I expected pretty much similar. Similar feeling. I guess the only thing I hate is the backpack. You've got to go through the vest and then into the deeper in there. And sometimes when I was messing with it, it was just popping right out. But right now it seems to be holding pretty good. Kind of wish there was a way to hold another rifle on there. That way you get most of the accessories on there. I think that's one of the cool things about a lot of the Joes is that you're able to do that. But yeah, really nice. So here's a couple of earlier Vipers. So this one was the single cart Viper. Colors seem to be closer to this one. You can tell right in there in the chest that the vest is different. Of course, he came with the little scarf, which I do love, that handkerchief, that scarf going around there. The goggles are different. The coloring, the grenades, the logos. This one's smaller, this one's larger. You can tell the whole sculpting is different. And this one looks to be like a more of a longer vest. It comes down over the waist versus this guy has the belt now. So, then we've got the holster on the leg versus his is part of his belt. You've got this futuristic looking rifle, and then his belt or his backpack has more details and paint in there versus the retro one. Has a different style and like no paint in there at all. Even the helmet has more paint, if you can see in the back right there. So yeah, this guy came with way more paint and details. I believe he came with more rifles too. I just don't have it on him. This is the one I have. This is the way I had him displayed on there. And then we have the other one here, which came from the 3-pack. Now, one thing that you could do with those other style Vipers was you could actually pull the forearm gauntlets off if you heated them up, and underneath is a skin tone. So this guy actually had the darker skin tone, which I do like, that they were different, and they came in a 3-pack, so each one had different skin tones. The downside to that is sometimes when you took the handkerchief off, they would have brown forearms, but then they would have like a white neck, which was kind of crazy. So they didn't always match. But yeah, this guy has darker colors. It's even darker compared to this one. So the exact same setup, just a different colorway. So this one is like way darker if we can see that next to each other. But same setup, different goggles. I think this guy has, he's got the paint on the back of the helmet also. So pulling the forearms off was looking to get more to that old classic style look. But this one does have the little guards around the forearms versus this one didn't. Yeah, pretty cool. I guess this one stands out in his own way. But if you've got a bunch of these ones here on the left, then you actually can, I think he fits well with those guys. And they might even all fit well together. I think so. These guys just seem a little more rugged, I guess. But they did come in that 3-pack, which looked more like this guy. So, darker on the red. He's a little more rugged looking. You can tell the legs are different from this guy too. So they do have different legs. Even the knee pads are different from that one. Same style. But this guy also had the same thing going on where you could take the forearm guards off and then you can see the skin tone, which is pretty cool. They did have the different color goggles, everything like that. Different packs that have paint on it. But they do have similar rifles here to the one that he came with the long rifle. I just don't have the suppressors in. But yeah, all very similar, all fit in their own way, all have the different details, but the retro one is pretty different from the vest and the legs, because this retro one doesn't even have the pockets on the front. So yeah, it's not as much reuse as you think, or as I thought. Even the arms, this one has the smoother upper shoulders. It has the little pockets right there versus this one doesn't. So very interesting. I'm glad they didn't go an exact repaint. That's pretty cool. All right, so final thoughts. I think this figure is really cool. I really like it. I like the design of it. Very throwback. It just calls out to me. Maybe because of that, I feel that nostalgic type feeling towards it. Do you think it could have used extra paint in certain areas? The backpack. This is the only one again that doesn't have paint on the back of the helmet, so that would have been nice. Even I'd say the helmet in general doesn't have any paint because I don't know if I showed it before. The sides of the helmet right there have a little bit of red in there, red lining by the visor. His is just solid blue. This one's got red lining. I do kind of wish it had some more paint on the helmet, the backpack. But I mean, everything else looks really cool about it. And I like the fact that it does fit in with these previous releases. Even though they all look the same, the slightly different shades could mean just a slightly different job. It's your, again, it's your figures. You can figure out a story for it or how they fit, that sort of thing. But I do like the colorway on it a lot. And I do hope we get another re-release of this somehow with a different shade of brown for the skin tone, maybe lighter skin tone or darker skin tone. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I like this figure. I do plan on maybe getting a couple more to add to my shelves. But yeah, I hope that they can do that just to help with the ranks. So we got Pretty decent paint, a nice look. We've got good articulation because they're classified. A couple weapons. I do love the hands, extra hands. That's really cool. I love the choice that they made with those. So pretty cool. I like it. I'm gonna again add a couple more to the shelf. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this review. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Later.